Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a beautiful turmeric whipped facial cream. Turmeric is very well known for its anti-inflammatory and anti-redness properties. It's great for evening out your skin tone, so it's lovely for your complexion. So we're going to be using turmeric along with some other beautiful anti-aging ingredients. And because we're using some butters in this recipe, I wanted to incorporate some air to make it a little bit more light and fluffy for facial care. In this video today, I'm going to be showing you a visual step-by-step process and tutorial of how to put together this lovely anti-aging facial cream. And if you would like the full written recipe with percentages and a detailed written step-by-step tutorial, please head on over to my Patreon campaign where you can unlock this formula along with 3.5 years of archived recipes for just a $5 pledge. There really is a ton to take advantage of over on the campaign. We have 4 other tiers besides the $5 tier, each with their own exclusive benefits. I really do hope you'll check it out, join the community. I'm going to go ahead and place the link to my campaign in the description box. I really hope you'll join us over there. All right, let's get started. All right, since we are making a cosmetic, it's important to note that anything that's going to come into contact with your raw materials or your finished product needs to be thoroughly cleaned and sanitized so you're not accidentally introducing bacteria into your cosmetic. You also just want to make sure your environment is very clean before you get started. We are making a small 100-gram batch today, so I find it easier to weigh very small amounts on this little scale here. We probably will use both scales. This formula is broken up into a water phase, an oil phase, and a cool down phase. So we're going to start off by weighing our water phase ingredients first. We're going to use this little scale for the small amounts. We're just making a small 100-gram batch. Of course, you can use the percentages provided in the recipe to scale up or down how you like. So the first thing we're doing is weighing off some allantoin. Now it's a fine white powder. It's very lightweight, but allantoin is known for its skin soothing properties. It comes from the comfrey plant, which is high in allantoin. So this is going to help with redness. It's also going to help soothe the skin. You see allantoin in a lot of skincare products. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put the allantoin into this beaker here. It's just much easier to weigh off fine powders and such on this little scale that weighs tiny amounts. And then into the allantoin, we are going to be weighing off the water. We're using distilled water. You want to make sure you're using distilled water for this project. You could use aloe vera water if you like, or a hydrosol of your choice. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and weigh off the water. And then we're going to give the water a good stir just to incorporate that allantoin, which does dissolve in water. It does take a little bit to get it to dissolve all the way down, but once it's all the way dissolved, it will appear totally clear. Now, once the allantoin is completely dissolved, the water is going to go back to looking clear. And you can heat this up a little bit to hasten the process. That's okay. And the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and add in some glycerin. Now we're adding quite a bit of glycerin to this recipe. I promise it's not going to feel sticky, but this is a great anti-aging ingredient. It's also fairly inexpensive to purchase. It's a powerful humectant. It's going to draw moisture to your skin and also help lock it in. So we're using quite a bit of glycerin. And then the last thing we're going to be putting into the water phase is some of the turmeric extract. All right, so turmeric extract looks like this. It's got a beautiful dark orangey color. I got this one from Voyager Soap and Candle. It's water soluble. And since we're just using the smallest amount here, again, I'm going to be weighing off a little bit into this little half of a bath bomb mold. Turmeric extract, a little bit goes a long way, and you want to be very mindful that you're not using so much that it stains the skin. We just want a little bit in there to add in the turmeric properties, but we don't want to stain anybody's skin. A little bit goes a long way. All right, and to go ahead and get this incorporated, we're just going to pour a little bit of the water into this container here. I'm going to give it a little bit of a stir just to make sure we're picking up all of that turmeric extract off the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and just dump that back in. And just use my little spatula here to get everything out of this. And then we'll just give this a stir to combine. And as you can see, we're going to impart this beautiful bright yellow color with the turmeric. So I'm going to go ahead and set my water phase aside, and then we're going to go ahead and start weighing off the oil phase for this formula. The first thing in the oil phase we're going to be weighing off is a little bit of shea butter. Now, shea butter is a perfect anti-aging ingredient. It's super luxurious. It's got a lot of healing properties to it. It's very, very moisturizing to the skin, and it's full of antioxidants. So we're going to go ahead and weigh off what we need here for this formula. Here we go. And then the next butter we're going to be weighing off is some cocoa butter. Cocoa butter is high in stearic acid, therefore it's going to give you a lot of conditioning properties to the formula. It's also going to help with the whipping process. I find that formulas that have stearic acid in them do whip up a little bit better. So this is just a cocoa butter pellet. I got these from Brambleberry. They're super convenient to weigh off because you don't have to cut anything. I am probably going to have to cut this little pellet to get the measurement I'm looking for though. All right, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and add cocoa butter into this container here. And then the next thing we're going to be weighing off is some squalane oil. Squalane is a beautiful anti-aging oil. Squalane oil is known for its anti-aging benefits. It mimics our own skin and therefore is great at moisturizing. It's also great for anti-redness. It's known for its skin balancing properties, and it's very lightweight. It's not going to clog your pores. So it's a nice balance to have with these heavier butters. So we're going to go ahead and now squalane is a little bit of an expensive oil. You don't have to use a lot. If you don't want to use squalane, you can use any other light carrier oil that's good for facial care in its place. So we're just going to be weighing off a little bit of squalane. I think it's a beautiful oil. You're going to see this in kind of higher end skincare products in the department stores. It's just a very luxurious ingredient. And then to this, we're going to be adding in our emulsifiers and waxes here. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and place our squalane into the container with the butters. And then the last thing we're going to do for the oil phase is weigh off what we need for our acetyl alcohol and our emulsifier. Now the cetyl alcohol in this formula is going to be gorgeous because it adds a nice silky feeling. It's lightweight on your skin and it just adds a perfect skin feel for facial creams. Cetyl alcohol is a fatty alcohol. It's also used for its thickening properties. This is also going to help reduce that white streaking that you can sometimes get when you use different thickeners, like maybe if you've used a stearic acid in the past. Stearic acid is lovely for facial care, but sometimes it can leave a little bit of like that white streaking when you rub it in. Cetyl alcohol does not do that. It's a lovely fat to add to your creams and lotions. Okay, and then for the emulsifier today, we're using one of my favorites for facial care. We're using the Cream Maker Blend, and this is from makingcosmetics.com. Cream Maker Blend is the brand name, but it's actually a combination of emulsifiers, including glyceryl monostearate and PEG 100 stearate. If you didn't want to use PEGs or PEG 100, you could use any other complete emulsifier of your choice. A regular generic emulsifier NF or Polo Wax would work fine in this formula. I really like the combination of the glyceryl monostearate and the PEG 100 stearate. I think it just makes the cream very like light and fluffy feeling. It's gorgeous. In combination with the cetyl alcohol, it's two of my favorite things combined. Okay. And then we're just going to add this to the rest of our oil phase. All right, so now we have our water phase and our oil phase, and it is time to go ahead and warm these both up. Now you're going to put a piece of foil over the top of these or a piece of heat resistant like plastic wrap, and you can put this into a double boiler and warm this up. So we're going to go ahead and warm these up, and then I'm going to bring you back when we're ready to combine the two phases. All right, now that my two phases are warmed through and melted down, they're sitting at around 150 degrees Fahrenheit, we're ready to go ahead and combine the water and the oil phases. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour the water into the oil. And then we need to use our stick blender to make sure we get this completely emulsified. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my stick blender on low. And we're just going to pulse it. It's still very warm and rather runny. So at this point, you just want to do it on low speed until you get a little bit more of an emulsion going. So we're just going to go ahead and do this for about 2 minutes or so. And as you can see, we're getting a gorgeous, beautiful, bright and cheery yellow color. I'll bring you right back when we're done with the emulsification. So we went ahead and blended this for about 2 minutes. It's been sitting now for about 5 to 6 minutes, and as you can see, it's already getting nice and thick. I think it appears a little more yellow in real life than it does on the camera, but it's a really bright, happy yellow color. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and set this aside and just weigh off the ingredients that are needed for the cool down phase of this formula. First thing we're going to do is weigh off some tangerine essential oil. We're using this at a very low rate. Tangerine oil actually has some great skin benefits to it. This is probably a cream that you would want to use at nighttime if you're afraid of the photosensitivity with the tangerine essential oil. Has a lovely bright and happy smell. It's going to match that bright yellow perfectly. To the essential oil, we're going to be adding in this interesting little ingredient. It's called Wrinkle Fix. Now I got Wrinkle Fix from Lotion Crafter, and the INCI for it is water, hydrolyzed rice protein, hydrolyzed pea protein, glycine, proline, hydrolyzed sodium hyaluronate. So it's got the hyaluronic acid, the pea protein, the rice protein. You could replace this really with any extract of your choice, water soluble or oil soluble extract. I liked that this little container had a combination of ingredients. So we're going to go ahead and put it in. I think the name Wrinkle Fix is pretty cute. It's just the brand name for all the essentials that are combined into this one product, but I thought it was cute sounding. And then the last thing we're going to add to the cool down phase is some preservative. Now we are using an optiphen preservative today. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and take the temperature of the batch and make sure it's cool enough to go ahead and add those cool down ingredients. I'm sure it is, but we're going to double check anyway. We just want to make sure our formula is around 100 degrees. That's a good time to add in cool down phase ingredients because it's warm enough to combine, but not too hot that it's going to kill off the beautiful properties of the delicate ingredients like the Wrinkle Fix. So we're sitting right at 102 degrees. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pour that in there. Make sure I scrape this out. Okay, I'm going to give this a little hand mix, and then we're going to go ahead and give it one more stick blend here just to make sure we get all of those ingredients well combined. All right, this is coming together very nicely, and I'm going to bring you back for the next phase after this is cooled down a little bit closer to room temperature, and that's going to be the whipping phase. So my cream has been sitting now for probably 20 minutes. It's about 85 degrees Fahrenheit. As you can see, it's thickening up quite nicely. It's still a little bit thin, but that's just because it's around 85 degrees. So it already has a really nice kind of light and fluffy texture to it. So we're just going to whip and incorporate some air into this to make it even lighter and fluffier. So all I'm going to do is take my mixer, my handheld mixer, and just put it on high speed and whip. The amount of whipping is entirely up to you. The more air you incorporate, the bigger it's going to get. However, the bigger it gets and the more air you incorporate also means you have a risk of this deflating. So it's up to you. There's pluses and minuses to making it larger versus a smaller whip, but we're going to go ahead and whip it. I would like this to grow a little bit in size and get nice and light and fluffy. I'm going to continue to whip. I'll bring you back when I have gotten the amount of whip that I like. All right, everybody, I got this to the perfect texture and consistency. As you can see, I've whipped mine until it doubled in size. So there's a lot of air in this. And look at this beautiful, light, fluffy, kind of mousse-like texture. It's so gorgeous. So I'm going to quit playing with it because I don't want to deflate it, but I'm going to go ahead and pipe this into some containers. All right, so I've got it all in my piping bag here. It's very light and fluffy, and we're going to be piping it into these 4-ounce wide mouth PET containers. I got these from Berlin Packaging. Of course, you can use smaller ones if you like. I'm just using these bigger ones because this is going to be a personal use type product. This is not going to go onto my website. But you guys, it's probably not going to fit in both of these, probably just one, but just in case. It's got such a nice, fluffy texture. So as you can see, this filled up 2 4-ounce containers, so it did double in size because my batch size is only 100 grams. So it's super light and airy, it's not dense at all, and I'm absolutely loving it. All right, I took my gloves off. I want to go ahead and give you a little bit of a use demo here. Now this will firm up just a bit more after it sets up overnight. It is still slightly warm, so it will kind of firm up a little bit more in about 24 hours, but I just wanted to show you and give you a little idea of how it feels. So it feels very fluffy and light, like a mousse type consistency. You probably don't even need that much, but just to kind of show you on my arm. So a little bit goes a long way with the spreading. And it just feels really good. It coats the skin nicely, but it doesn't feel too heavy. So it really is a lovely, lovely skin cream. Again, this is one that I would probably use at nighttime just to avoid that photosensitivity with the tangerine essential oil. And this is not going to weigh your skin down or clog your skin up at all. It just soaks right in. It's absolutely gorgeous. And there you have it, everybody. That is how you make a turmeric and whipped anti-aging facial cream. I hope you really liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment below. I really love reading all your comments. They mean a lot to me. Subscribe to my channel and share this video with a friend. All right, everybody. Catch you on the next video. Bye. Keep shining.